to this school, this fence wasn't quite as good. There was a hideout here, which has now been had the fence put through the middle of it. And obviously there's a lot more plants and stuff growing. And a rickety wooden gate here, with this metal one stood in the same place. My granny once walked up to the school and was passing me fruit gums through the gate. And this other kid was going, "That's naughty." But I don't think my granny cared much. It's the road leading to the park. Used to come and do our cycling proficiency down here, which is kind of like a driving test for cyclists. And if you passed, you got a certificate to say you were a good cyclist. I didn't, but it doesn't actually affect anything if you don't pass. It's almost my first encounter with political correctness, where the guy said, you haven't passed, but you haven't failed either. You've had a deferred success. There needs to be trees there. Actually, empty field. There'll be about 20 houses on this before long. When I was very young, in the 80s, the play school used to be here. You can still see the path that led up to it. Also, here was a library, and I think there was the play school. And this was the playground, which is actually the car park of the village hall. And over here, too much glare, there was a little sand pit. Very little actually. What's left of it now is this patch, slightly different coloured tarmac. Big playground we had. I can still remember running around. Some kid had the car you push along and he fell off it and cried. Don't know if I mentioned it in the clip I recorded before about this being a play school when I was a kid. But this is also where they have the Bygone and Organs Fair, where they have lots of steam engines and classic cars and mechanical organs, which is next weekend. Woohoo! They'll make for an actually interesting video. They've begun to clear away some of the scrub, so they can put various old farm equipment and cars over there. This was my school, except it's not my school because it's been completely knocked down and rebuilt since then. It used to be a sort of flat square building made out of wood, or mostly made out of wood. They knocked it down sometime in about 2002, and it only took them a day to completely demolish the entire thing. But the new one's much nicer inside. That's what the play school is now. So the older kids at the normal school, with the amazing age of about 10, can more easily bully the play school kids who are about 4 to 5. And the gate used to be here, but now it's just a brick wall. And whenever the Olympics was on, when I was about this tall, we used to use this as parallel bars. One time I wrote a sign saying "Shul closed" and stuck it to the gate. The teachers weren't very impressed. This is the main street with the church, and that's the school, which is going to be in another clip. It's going to be played out of order because I'm actually filming this on 2 separate days. Actually, the battery's running out, so I think I'm going to be filming it on 3 separate days. This is the village hall. Pancakes! Great pancake festival. Is that today? I'll have to come back for that. We actually have a website. Urgent issues. It's a tourist information board. The old name for the village is Downham in the Isle, because this whole area should really be flooded, and the village and a nearby city called Ely used to be on an island in ancient times. I think there's a map of it there. And also, I think there's a Chinese style bridge somewhere around here. Let's go and find that one day. Oh, I know. We're also informed that Becca is a slag. Important information for tourists. Still, we can do something when we put our minds to it. I missed the cat show. Well, this isn't scary. This is the main church in the village. Possibly Church of England, but I'm not actually sure. I did a project on it for school once, even. It was built in 1111. And some of these graves have probably been here since then. Well, this isn't scary. Part 2. Going to end up in one of these graves in a minute. That's a fancy one. Don't park here. Anyway, used to be in our spy agency called Anti-Bully. A lot of the people that we decided were bullies, although most of them actually weren't, lived down there. So one time we cycled to school the long way round and went through that estate, and I kept going, "We are now entering enemy territory." My mum wasn't very impressed. Oh dear. Village sign, looking nice and shiny with the sun right behind it. Using the old name of Downham in the Isle. It's getting in my eyes now. Yeah, erected in 1977. Looks pretty clean still. In a Domesday book, this place is called Duneham, presumably because it was a hamlet on a dune, where the soil around here is not particularly sandy. But then the Domesday book is nearly 1,000 years old. I'll be a Japanese citizen one day. It's just to sort of instill patriotic pride. This is Lawn Lane, one of the streets that leads out of the village towards the countryside. It's one of the very, very few hills in this area. Well, this is what Cambridgeshire calls a hill. There's another cemetery here. No church attached to it, just a cemetery. Sure, I was brought here once and I was really, really young, but it's actually the first time I've been back since. Some of these graves are very fancy. This is a distant ancestor of mine. Somebody who died very suddenly in the 29th year of their age. That's how old I am. Better watch out. Although I think medical technology is a bit better now than it was in 1877. A broken off column, look. Not sure if that's meant to be like that, whether there was something else that's now snapped off. Sort of like a interesting imagery of life cut short. Fresh fruit you can buy yourself and just leave the money there. Some people can still be trusted. Not many though. Flowers too. Some people are still honest. Sun's low because it's early in the morning. There's a spotted bus stop. It's not even got 01 in the phone number. It must be ancient. Village railway station used to be over there somewhere apparently. Not exactly in the village, but even the Victorians wouldn't reroute the track for the likes of us. I didn't think I'd walk that far. Nice little pond through there. This is the entrance to the secret nuclear bunker. Don't tell anybody. Just left California. This is the road back to England, I hope. I was actually planning on making this video a composite of filming from 2 separate Sundays. But actually the memory card's just run out, or just about to run out. So I'm going to make it a composite filming of 3 separate Sundays. See these signs a lot in the really rural countryside. But Londoners can't even imagine such a thing. This is a road. There's a level crossing. They've even gone to all the trouble of making a new sign with the dates and times. But to be honest, I think only one car is going to go down here. The village windmill over there, not in the best condition. If I was a millionaire, I'd buy that and do it up. Here's a bridge. Sometimes when it's really early in the morning, you can see steam coming out of the outlet just underneath it when you're driving past. Not sure that's supposed to happen. Another lesser spotted bus stop. Apparently buses do still go from here, by some miracle. Fancy new light up traffic warning sign, which sometimes gets stuck and just stays lit up all the time. When I was little there used to be a furniture warehouse down there called Kraut Furniture. It's spelled C-R-O-U-T. But I asked my mum, is that German furniture? Used to be a bus that went to Bury St Edmunds in Suffolk every Wednesday. And when I was unemployed, or not at university, I used to go to Bury with my granny on that bus, and we used to wait just down here. Nice on a summer's day. Just see the cathedral in the distance. When I was very young, this sign was really muddy, and I wanted to get a job with the council when I grew up just so I could come and clean it. Just down there used to be a sort of tall, narrow greenhouse this old woman lived in with a load of animals that the RSPCA regularly come and take away because she wasn't taking care of them. But then she died and the house got knocked down, and my granny, who lived opposite, very briefly had a view across the fields to the cathedral. But then the farmer built a new house and came in and visited her and said, I'm going to ruin your view. And she said, I've only had it for about a week. This area has certainly been improved from how it was when I was little. Nice new gate that actually works. There's the main part of the village over there. According to Google Maps, this is a proper road, which means some sat-nav probably also says it's a proper road, and some idiots probably tried to drive down it while he's looking at the sat-nav screen and not what he was actually driving on. Still, it's better than it was when I was young. When I was young it was ploughed right up to the edge and there was only sort of this narrow muddy strip to walk on. If this had been here when I was young, I would have loved to ride my bike up and down it at top speed. Back onto a more solid road again. At least the weather's nice. This road's called the Hurst and leads back to sort of the middle of the back road of the village. But I'm more interested in this road, which goes somewhere interesting.